experience the craziness of high school basketball. These two programs have been the cream of the crop in the Girls City League here in Boston. Always fun to see the future of Boston basketball. Boy going to work. Somehow gets it to go, and the foul. Jordan off the up fake.
That's the kind of control finish you want to have.
Aiden way downtown.
Big play to follow up that push.
The Tech Boston Bears have won back-to-back championship in 2019. Hello, Boston, and welcome to Latin Academy High School in Dorchester for the quarterfinals of the boys North Division II bracket, as tonight the Gloucester Fishermen take on the Latin Academy Dragons. Hello, everybody. I'm Pat Flaherty, joined by my partner, as always, Alan Platt. And Alan, we're in the second round of the state tournament, at least on this side of the bracket, for the boys here. And Latin Academy and Gloucester, two teams that coming into the season were sort of young, a little bit inexperienced, but they now have a state tournament game under their belt. And I think that's going to give both teams confidence coming into this one.
You're absolutely right. That's the key. Coaches are always nervous about the first round state tournament games, whether it's home or not. In Latin Academy's case, they were at home. They played well. They earned their spot here. Gloucester, in their first round game, won by 12 points pretty comfortably, so they're feeling good. So this game right here, like you said, some similarities. I mean, Gloucester only brought back one starter from last year. Now, luckily for them, it's their best player, but it's still only one. Meanwhile, Latin Academy, Danny Bunker had some uncertainty about his starters before the season started. Now they're into a groove now, and a nice combination of starters and bench.
No question, and both these teams well-rounded with a lot of young players coming into this game. You talk about the Gloucester Fishermen and that one player that came back this year as a starter. He's a senior. He is the reigning Northeastern Conference MVP Player of the Year. That is Marcus Montanino. He is a do-everything big man for the Gloucester Fishermen.
Oh, most definitely. Montanino. You're talking about last year. He was 19 points, 10 rebounds a game. This year, he did even better than that. He's over 20 points and in the teens in rebounds. So, obviously, he's their best player. He even helps them break the press.
That's right.
By bringing the ball up court. So, you talk about all around, that's exactly what we can see from him tonight. He's going to have to be big, obviously. Then the rest of his players, his teammates, which pretty much are all younger guys.
That's right.
Someone's got to step up to be the second and the third scorer against this high-powered Latin Academy team.
Yeah, he's joined by 3 sophomores and 1 freshman in the starting lineup, so some of their young guys are going to have to, like Alan mentioned, step up tonight. Meanwhile, on the other side for Latin Academy, we've seen them now. This is our 5th time covering them this season. They've had such a great year, and I think you've had a lot of contributions from a lot of different guys, but the guy who's been probably the most steady and the best player overall this season for Latin Academy is their point guard, Mason Lawson. He's our spotlight player tonight.
Oh, yeah, Mason all around, especially in the last month or so, really elevated himself. Like you said, they're the best all-around player. They have better shooters, they have better rebounders, but he does a little bit of all of that. And he because he's a big guard, he has the ability to take over a game depending on who's trying to defend him. So Mason's key, obviously, he sets up the big guy, sets up his other shooters, but he can also score himself. Had a tough time in the city championship game with free throws, which is unusual for him. Just couldn't make any free throws, but good to see him bounce back, have a decent game in the first round of the state tournament. So Mason, obviously, is going to be huge tonight.
No question. He was 1 rebound away from a triple-double in their first round game against North Andover, and I think Latin Academy is going to need him to put forth almost as good, if not better, effort tonight to beat this very good Gloucester Fishermen team. So it should be fun to watch both Mason Lawson and Montanino lead their teams here tonight. Now, for more on this game, we're going to go to our sideline reporter, Michelle Fenelon, who's got an update for us. Michelle, what do you have?
You mentioned Gloucester senior Marcus Montanino. Latin Academy head coach Dan Bunker spoke highly of him. He said you can't put a guard on him because he'll just post him up. You can't put a forward on him because he'll just take him to the basket. Bunker told me the plan is for junior point guard Mason Lawson to guard Montanino defensively to start. However, you can expect that to change. Bunker said he wants to throw out a lot of different looks and make Montanino as uncomfortable as possible. Pat.
Thanks very much, Michelle. And very interesting there. You have your point guard guarding the big man from the other team. So
we did say that Mason got good size. For a guard, as a high school guard, he has very good size. But I think, like Michelle saying, it's going to be more of a matter of Danny Bunker changing defenses up during the course of the game as things are going.
No question.
You know, it's interesting start, though.
No question. We'll see how it goes. I mean, we also talked about how Montanino often plays on the perimeter as well. So we'll certainly see him out there along with going inside. He does a little bit of everything for this Gloucester team. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have the opening tap here from Latin Academy High School in Dorchester in the quarterfinals of the North Division II bracket here in the MIAA State Tournament. Make sure you stick around.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber.
Breathe right into your foot.
Your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like, they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Each year, there are more than a dozen significant tropical and winter storms that threaten the East Coast. So chances are there will be more hurricanes and blizzards near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
All right, Monroe, you ready? Monroe. Here we go, the butterfly. Ready? Ooh.
Welcome back to Latin Academy High School in Dorchester. We are at the Boys North Division II bracket. It's the quarterfinals of this part of the state tournament here as the Gloucester Fishermen will be taking on Latin Academy Dragons. They're the starters for Gloucester: Patton, Thomas, Oliver, Del Torchio, and Montanino. Meanwhile, for Latin Academy, it's Lawson, Santos, Stuppard, Ali, and Wolgarin. Wolgarin and Montanino for the opening tap. And that's going to stay with Latin Academy, so they will have the first possession of the game. Latin Academy in their gold uniforms with the black and white trim. Gloucester in the maroon uniforms with the white and gray trim.
Gloucester coming out straight man-to-man to start things. The problem with the shot clock. Latin Academy with their second home game in the tournament, and hoping to take advantage of this familiarity.
Execute, step to it. Yep. Hey, see what you got.
Lawson looking inside for Wolgarin, and Usasu couldn't hang on to the pass. It's going to go back to the Fisherman.
Yeah, wasn't a clean catch. The ball deflected off him. That's a full court pressure, 2-1-2 zone press.
Montanino getting deep in the post, now back up top. Thomas for 3, and he rattles it home for Gloucester.
Good patience by Gloucester. They weren't rattled at all by the zone pressure and then the half court pressure on the ball.
Make them work. Make them work. There you go.
Lawson open 3 off the back iron. Ali with the rebound for Latin Academy.
Move it, T. Make them work.
Lawson fires up another 3. Can't get that one to go. Stuppert, rebound and putback for Latin Academy.
Yeah, Stumpert, one of the only seniors on the Latin Academy team that plays a lot, so he could be important with his experience.
Patton guarded by Santos. Patton inside the paint. Thomas from the elbow. Can't get that one to fall. Strong rebound inside from Montanino. Scored the hoop and the harm for the reigning Northeastern Conference MVP.
Good hands, got decent length. Obviously the biggest man they have. A little double team action there with Guerin late on the defensive play, looking for a block shot.
Unable to complete the 3-point play. Lawson on the drive, drops it down beautifully to Ali.
Nice setup by Lawson. He drew a double team once he got past the foul line. Found Ali for a layup.
Wide open corner 3 is buried that time by Zach Oliver.
Yeah, Danny Bunker wants a timeout right now because, Gloucester's opened up with 2 long three-point shots, one from the top of the key and one from deep in the corner. You can't give up both those spots, so someone was obviously out of position. Wants to make sure the kids know where they're supposed to cover up.
Right now it's 4-point lead for Gloucester here with 2 minutes gone by in the first quarter. And early so far, you're seeing Latin Academy try to sort of gamble a little bit in the backcourt.
Knowing that Gloucester had to take that long bus ride down the coast to get here, the home team always wants to try to create a little bit of frenzies, try to rattle your opponent, being in a new court. But like I said, you see some good patience by this Gloucester team in the half-court set. Both those 3-pointers were wide open. They were set up well by some good ball movement.
We talked about second and third players for Gloucester who have to step up in their first-round game. It was Byron Thomas who had 21 points, and then you saw Oliver knock down the 3. He had 20 points, so those 2 guys have stepped up for Gloucester this season. They certainly did in that first-round matchup. Ali against the basket, no good. Wolgarin can't pick up the rebound. Here comes Montanino. Oliver on the drive now. Thomas. Patton with a running shot, can't get it to go. Tap towards the corner, it's chased down by Mason Lawson. Wide open 3 for Muhammad Ali, can't get it to go. Wolgarin comes away with the rebound, and they're going to whistle him for a travel.
The hustle, though, Wolgarin's going to be key because you have the big fella for Gloucester, who obviously is going to be a key target in their offense. At some point in the game, Wolgarin's going to have to use his length to defend him.
Turnover that time by Gloucester. Here comes Lawson. Stuppert on the drive. Nemo can't get it to go, but he does get the whistle.
Montanino on the foul also. He was trying to protect the basket. Stuppert, the smart play. He created the contact. Watch Stuppert. He jumps right into him. That'll be 2 free throws. Early timeout by Danny Bunk is important. More so defensively, I would think, than on offense. I mean, it's a nice baseline shot. He actually went straight up. So coaches don't like that foul being called when you see the defender just go straight up.
Either free throw made by Stuppert. Oliver, wide open 3. Can't get that one to go. Ali fires another one from the corner.
It's usually one of his favorite spots, but he got a little bit too much adrenaline flowing here in the first quarter.
Muhammad had 4 threes made in the first round matchup against North Andover. Another turnover by Gloucester as Stuppert comes away with the steal.
Move it. Make them work, Mason. Make them work. Yep.
Lawson all the way to the bucket. Can't squeeze that one in. Oliver with the rebound.
Good cover-up defense, good help defense by Gloucester on the baseline. Lawson had that turn into a much tougher shot.
Oliver up the up fake, blocked inside by Wodarin. Dragons trying to get on the break. Santos, beautiful pass to Ali.
That's what Latin Academy would love to do. Get quick rebounds, fast break opportunities.
Thomas open 3 off the back rim. Lawson chases down the rebound for Latin Academy. Good swing for the Dragons. Stuppert short on the 3. Montanino can't hang on to the rebound. Stuppert again. They're going to call an offensive foul on Nemo Stuppert.
The defender was set there on the baseline. Yeah, nice up fake to clear himself. I thought he was going to stop for the quick mid-range shot.
Zach Oliver took a shot when he took that charge.
Yeah. Lawson's going to take a timeout, hopefully to get him squared away. But it's the kind of style we could probably anticipate, Pat. I think both teams doing a little bit of what they want. It's unusual to see Ali miss his first few shots from one of his favorite spots, that deep baseline corner three-pointer. He's been shooting that all season.
That's right.
But again, he'll have to settle down and get himself feeling a little more comfortable.
Yeah, Latin Academy right now is doing the job on the offensive and defensive glass. They have 9 rebounds to Gloucester's 5. When you're talking about defending a team whose best player is their center, that's something you got to do. It'd be much better on the boards. 2-point lead for Gloucester right now, and for Latin Academy, obviously they're not making shots, but what's something else that they kind of need?
No, I think Danny's actually happy with the offense. The defense he's more concerned with, because we've seen Gloucester get, I think, a few more open three-pointers than Danny expected. Because he has a combination of his own defense in the half court to try to take away these deep three-pointers. And the next biggest guy for Gloucester is actually Del Torrio, who's a freshman.
Another turnover. Here comes Abdullahi Aiden for his
right
first
off
basket
the
of the
bench,
game.
on the scoreboard, right?
Instant offense for Latin Academy. Torchio trying to work inside.
Nice
Montanino
pass.
shuffled his feet.
Yeah, I think Montanino just lost the handle, slid his foot. But that's the freshman I was talking about. Del Torrio, Jaden is, like I say, he's the second biggest player out there. He's actually defending the baseline against Worrigan.
Latin Academy right now on a 6-0 run. Three-pointer from Aiden is buried. It has got to be strange for the opposing team where you have this Latin Academy team, they come out for the first couple of minutes and run it up and down the floor. You've got guys who know how to play. As there you see Lawson.
Well, you're right, because
got to get rid of it. Then Aiden comes off the bench and just scores,
And it's quick 5 points within a minute.
Lawson inside to Guerin. Lawson on the putback.
Good job by Lawson to stay with the play. He actually made what looked to be an easy layup for Guerin, but just couldn't connect.
Mason Lawson already with 4 rebounds for Latin Academy. That's a 10-second violation on Gloucester.
First time we've seen that full court press force a 10-second violation.
Mason, keep the pace up. Keep the pace up. Keep the pace up. Come on, team, make them work, baby.
Latin Academy coaches yelling for the team to pick up the pace on both ends, offense and defense.
Benny Martinez on the drive, got caught underneath the hoop. Another turnover by Gloucester. Here comes Tiano Santos. Got blocked inside by Oliver. Aiden, corner 3, off the back iron. Montanino with the rebound for the Fishermen.
See, the pace is hurting Gloucester now. They have not been able to get into the half court to let Montanino go down in the post.
Off the up fake, Patton tries a runner, can't get it to go. Latin Academy in the midst of an 11-0 run here midway through the first quarter, or towards the end of the first quarter, excuse me. Aiden tries a runner. And Abdullahi's going to get 2 free throws.
Yeah, you mentioned instant offense, Pat, and he just creates so much, and especially for, like you said, for a team like Gloucester who's not seen him before. I think Gloucester's going to have to figure out how to slow down the pace of the game in general.
Muhammad Ali coming back in for the Dragons as Nemo Stuppard heads to the bench.
We talked about Gloucester coming from the Northeastern Conference. During the course of their whole season, they didn't play any teams from Boston. So they wouldn't have had any reason to scout anybody until close to the tournament. So a lot of seeing the speed and the pace of Latin Academy is all new to these players from Gloucester.
And Eduardo Rivero now in for Gloucester. Del Torchio inside, gets double teamed by Ali and Santos. Del Torchio can't finish underneath. Lawson trying to wrestle it away from Montanino.
And the hell ball. It's going to go back to Gloucester.
15 seconds left here in the first quarter. 5-point lead for Latin Academy in the North Division II quarterfinals. Montanino can't finish off the window. Del Torchio gets it tapped away. Here comes Lawson with a 3-on-2. Lawson can't get it off.
Del Toro, he ran
with 0.7 seconds left to go in the quarter.
Del Toro was on the floor on the baseline. Sprinted down to easy number 30. It's only freshman.
He could have headbutted that basketball.
I'm telling you.
0.7 seconds left, not a lot of time. Tip in from Guerin is good at the buzzer.
And there you see the bad part being a freshman. You get caught looking the wrong direction, and Warrigen can use 0.7 seconds to get the final hoop of the quarter for Latin Academy.
Dragon sophomore gets the final hoop there with a 7-point lead. Heading into the break, we'll be right back with the second quarter here on Game of the Week.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Welcome back to Latin Academy High School in Dorchester. Right now, the Latin Academy Dragons lead the Gloucester Fishermen 15-8. Before we get going here in the second quarter, our sideline reporter, Michelle Fenelon's got an update for us. Michelle, what do you have?
The biggest reason why Latin Academy has become one of the best teams in Division II this season is because of this team's because of the chemistry on this team. A lot of these players have been playing together since 7th or 8th grade, some for 3 years. Head coach Dan Bunker told me the reason for that chemistry is because these players are friends off the court. He said they eat lunch together, they go to church together, and the YMCA. Bunker told me in the past he felt like he really had to force the team chemistry, but this year he does not. Pat?
Thanks very much, Michelle. And because Latin Academy is an exam school, they get kids in the 7th grade that can even play on the varsity.
Makes a huge difference. Makes a huge difference.
They at least get in the program that early.
That's been talked about for years in terms of the other high schools who only have kids as freshmen.
Another steal for Lawson. Out to Wogarin. Wogarin lays it up and in. Was cocking it back like he was going to throw it down.
I was just going to say, he got in the air and just almost like talked himself out of trying for a dunk. Boy, a 15-0 run for Latin Academy.
Nice feed inside from Oliver to Montanino.
I mean, that's the problem that Gloucester's having. They're not getting the ball to him in the post. The guards outside for Gloucester have really been harassed so much that he's not been able to get much offense.
Just a second field goal so far for Montanino. Aiden. And he gets fouled on his way inside the paint. Foul's going to be on the floor.
Aiden's using that quick first step right there. He's already by the defender, so as the help comes up, it's automatic contact and a foul.
Jack Patton whistle for the foul. Aiden, corner three, you betcha. Stuppard unable to pick it up. Stuppard there to put it back up and in. He doesn't get it to go, and there comes Montanino with a rebound. Montanino on the drive. Scores inside.
Yeah, he's starting to warm up a bit. And you just got to touch the ball more. You're used to getting rebounds, getting chances in the post on offense. He hasn't had much of that at all in the first quarter.
Stuppard on the drive,
nice
gets
finish.
it to go.
Looked like he was actually beyond the basket, but was able to squeeze it in on a tough angle. See, the guards for Gloucester, for some reason, have really become very unsure of themselves. They were doing a better job with the press in the first couple of minutes of the game.
Montanino looks to the corner for Oliver. Oliver can't hit the three. Ball's batted around. It's going to go back to Latin Academy. And Del Torchio is all over the place. Substitution for Latin Academy. Ben Shapiro, the freshman, big man.
Coming in. There you go.
Coming in
some
for the
Steve
Dragons.
Sherman action. Okay.
Ben actually sprained his ankle leading into their city playoff game against South Boston about 2 weeks ago. But he's back now for the Dragons. Just adds another big player off their bench.
Yeah, he's a legitimate 6'5". Stand next to him, you can tell.
Aiden, another three. Can't get that to go. Rebound comes down at Del Torchio. Here comes Montanino. Good swing by the Fisherman. Oliver doesn't hit the three, but they're going to give Shapiro a foul call, and that's going to put Oliver on the free throw line.
Yeah, the big freshman trying to close out. Watch him try to close out, but just a little out of control. Had the contact as your shooter came down. Shooter has to be given the chance to come down clean.
That kid does that every single time he shoots.
Oliver no good on the first free throw. Here you see Coach Silveria, 4th year at Gloucester, also an outstanding player at Gloucester and Salem State back in the 90s.
Yeah, they had a really good season last year. Then, like you said, 4 of the starters graduated.
Second free throw missed after the first free throw was made. That was the first free throw made by either team in this game so far. Aiden's pass picked off that time by Montanino. Then he loses it behind his back and that's going to go back to Latin Academy.
I'll tell you, that was good defense coming from behind. Santos for Latin Academy forced Martinino to go behind his back with that pass. It was just a little awry.
Aiden, top of the key. Would have been a long two. Stuppard comes away with the rebound. Lawson trying to go baseline. Stuppard. Aiden finds an opening.
Yeah, see, that's first step something. I really hadn't noticed that from him before. I mean, I know he likes to go to the basket, but that first step is so quick. He's by the defender already.
Penny Martinez coming back in as Nemo Stuppard heads to the bench.
It's almost like as soon as Aiden puts the ball on the floor, he's looking for the help defender to try to figure out a way to beat him.
Aiden, another corner three. That one off the back rim. Shapiro with the rebound. Lawson, top of the key. Buries the trifecta for Latin Academy. 12-point lead for the Dragons. Oliver on the drive. Thomas gets the ball knocked out of his hands. Shapiro with the steal. Santos doesn't have the numbers.
Swing, move it, come on, move it.
Santos on the drive, scores off the window. And Gloucester wants a timeout midway through the second quarter. 14-point lead for Latin Academy.
Their offense is clicking because they're going to the basket. Strong right. The guards from Gloucester have been unable to prevent these drives straight to the hoop. Nice pick by the freshman. And you see Santos take full advantage.
You also see once Aiden knocked down a couple of threes, that just opens so many things up.
Definitely.
In the lane.
And the floor is wide open. Like I said, in that first step by Aiden, like you said, he hit a three, goes to the basket. He's gone to the basket 3 or 4 times already because you have the Gloucester players trying to close out on him, coming out at him off balance. He goes right by him. And then Gloucester just can't get any offense going. I mean, by the time they try to get the ball into the big guy, he's double teamed. Bunker's doing a good job. They're really crowding the lane defensively, Latin Academy is, so that he has a very hard time even getting a touch.
Folks, if you want to follow us on social media, you can certainly go to our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/GameOfTheWeekBoston. A lot of good stuff up on that site, including what games we're going to be covering as the tournament moves forward. You can also follow us on Twitter @BostonCityTV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. Coming out of the timeout, Latin Academy with a 14-point lead over Gloucester. And that ball goes out of bounds. We'll go back to the Dragons. Right now, it's Gloucester with 10 turnovers so far here in the first half. Latin Academy just with 3.
And a few of those turnovers have come on the 2-1-2 full court pressure the Latin Academy's started out with in the first quarter.
Garen, top of the key. Can't get the jumper to go. Penny Martinez with the rebound.
Stay with it.
Gets it taken away. Garen gets it back. Osasu scores off the backboard.
Quick hands defensively by Latin Academy's created a bunch of deflections.
Gloucester has nowhere to go with it. Picked off by Aiden. Abdullahi down the other end. Del Torchio took an extra step.
Gloucester is totally out of sync right now.
Dragons currently on a 29-5 run that has started in the first quarter and now spilled over here in the second quarter. Not only is Latin Academy putting the pressure on defensively, forcing these turnovers, you see them continuously subbing guys in.
Yeah, keeping fresh legs out there.
Turnover that time by the Dragons. Here comes Montanino on the other end. Can't finish the layup. Del Torchio with the offensive rebound. He's swarmed by a couple of Dragons. Montanino comes away with the loose ball. And we got a jump ball that I believe stays with Gloucester.
Yeah, it'll stay with Gloucester. It's almost like Gloucester's one step behind making their passes, so it allows the defense for Latin Academy to get on the ball or double team.
Montanino can't get that to go, gets his own rebound, carves out space. Putback is good.
Now you can see why he's a player of the year in the division. I mean, he's very active. He's had a very frustrating first half, but he's sticking with it. 8 points, 9 rebounds so far, which is, for him, would be considered a slow start.
Lawson, step back jumper.
Yeah, the Gloucester kids are just two. That's a nice pass from the freshman.
Montanino can't finish underneath. Benny Martinez comes away with it for the Dragons. Lawson. Corner three from Martinez is short that time. Montanino comes away with the rebound for the Fishermen. 18-point lead here for Latin Academy. Just over a minute left to go in the first half. Garen comes away with the steal that time for Latin Academy. Martinez on the drive, and that time they're going to call an offensive foul on Benny Martinez.
Well, it just seems that the pressure in the half-court defense for Latin Academy has really made the backcourt players for Gloucester a little timid in terms of looking for their own shots. There's no way you can come back in the game if you're not going to be looking at the basket and being a threat.
Mason Lawson gets a breather here at the end of the quarter. Tiano Santos back in for the Dragons. Corner three from Oliver. Del Torchio gets it stolen away by Will Guerin. Del Torchio steals it back. Can't score off the window. Putback is good that time from Sam Shalino.
One of the best efforts we've seen from Gloucester in terms of attacking the offensive glass.
Dragons with a 16-point lead will look for the final shot of the half. Aiden looking for an opening, has to fire from deep. Well short that time, and Latin Academy with a heck of a start here in this one. They have a 16-point lead over the Gloucester Fishermen here at the half. And if you're Coach Bunker, after a sort of a slow start, things really picked up, and you got to be happy with the team's effort here in the first half.
The first couple of minutes, Bunker called the timeout quick. As a matter of fact, one of the things he said in the timeout was they made their run. That's when they were down 8-4. They were down 8-2. He called the timeout down at 8-4. He said, listen, we've got to pick up the pressure. We've got to pick up the pace. And ever since then, they've been on this crazy run, and now they have that big double-digit lead.
No question. Meanwhile, for Gloucester, Montanino has scored some points for them. He certainly got a lot of rebounds, but it seems like every time he scores, it's really tough points. You really got to go to work to get them.
It's been tough. He unfortunate for him, he's had some bad luck on a couple of bunny layups that just sort of rimmed out.
Right.
But overall, Gloucester's just having too difficult a time getting the ball into him. He has the size, obviously he has good hands and is a good scorer, but the problem is they got to get the ball to him.
No question. So Coach Silveria of Gloucester is with our sideline reporter, Michelle Fenelon. Michelle, take it away.
I'm here with Gloucester head coach Chris Silvera. Coach, tough first half. You saw Latin Academy go on a big run at the end of the first quarter after you had a lead. What changed?
Pretty much offensive rebounds. They got, a whole bunch of them. And when you get more than one chance every time down, that can happen. So we got to tighten up the rebounds. We got to box out better. And the help defense has to be better too. We're not getting to where we should be. And they're hitting shots too. They're a very good team. So, it is what it is right now.
In the second half, how do you limit those second chance opportunities for Latin Academy?
You just toughen up and you box out. That's what we got to do. We have to box out better.
Thanks, Coach. Pat.
Thanks very much, Michelle. And Coach Silveria certainly needs some boxing out from his team. But I think it's even more just Latin Academy's just hustling to every ball. They're doubling everything.
Plus, when you say you got to box up more, that's like coach speak for we got to get tougher.
Right.
we got to start being as aggressive as Latin Academy is. A number of the turnovers that Gloucester had were deflected balls, were tap-aways from behind on dribblers. Like I said, I think the guards for Gloucester have got to decide they're going to be more aggressive.
Right.
Because there's no reason for them to be getting trapped so often in the backcourt. That 2-1-2 is something that Latin Academy has done well this season. But
that's right.
Gloucester seemed like they broke it pretty well in the first few minutes. But then as Latin Academy picked the pace up, it was almost like Gloucester was almost like just sort of stuck.
Sure.
And couldn't decide what to do.
Yeah, it seemed like there was a little bit of confusion there from the Fishermen. I'm sure they'll make some adjustments here at the half of the 2020 MIAA State Tournament. We're in the North Division II bracket on the boys' side, so this should certainly be an interesting second half here from Latin Academy. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have some halftime stats and some halftime highlights before we get going for the third quarter here on Game of the Week. Make sure you stick around.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Each year, there are more than a dozen significant tropical and winter storms that threaten the East Coast. So chances are there will be more hurricanes and blizzards near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
All right, Monroe, you ready? Monroe. Here we go, the butterfly. Ready? Ooh.
I am what hunger looks like in America. I am an 8-year-old girl who's not excited for the last day of school. Because this may be the last time I'll have lunch.
Till September.
I am a single father of 2 who works 3 part-time jobs, and that's still not enough to put food on the table. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger.
Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Imagine being fired because of who you love. Imagine being denied medical treatment because of who you marry. Imagine being evicted because of who you are. Millions of Americans don't have to imagine this. They have to live it. Because in 30 states, it's legal to discriminate against LGBT people.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right, because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a 4th ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to Latin Academy High School in Dorchester. We're at the half here on Game of the Week of the Boys North Division II quarterfinals. Right now, Latin Academy leads Gloucester 33-17. And we're going to take a look at the halftime stats here before we get going to the third quarter. First up, it's Gloucester.
Yeah, Gloucester, most of this happened in the first quarter. Big kid Montanino with 8 points and Oliver with 4. Montanino has 10 rebounds. Del Torchio, the freshman, added 2 rebounds, but you see the assist. That tells the story. Just 1 with Thomas and 1 for Oliver. They haven't been able to create any half-court offense at all.
Let's take a look at Latin Academy's halftime stats.
Well, Aiden comes off the bench with a quick 10 points. Lawson, the starting point guard, controlling the whole offense at 7. Lawson has 5 rebounds. Also, Stuppert, the senior, with 4 rebounds. Then you see Lawson 6 assists in that first half. The opposite, getting his team involved. Santos added an assist also. So you just see that the numbers tell you that Latin Academy is just doing what they want to do, whereas Gloucester is struggling to try to go to the strength of their offense.
Yeah, we saw Abdullahi Aiden, as we've seen all season, come right off the bench and score right away.
Oh, yeah, he hit that layup after the steal. He came right back with a 3-pointer, step-back 3 right here. That's what he's used to doing. He's known for his deep shooting. There's another one there, so he got things going. Like I said, 10 points off the bench in that first half. Another steal. Knows how to go to the basket well, and more importantly, he can finish from different angles.
Yeah, Abdullahi with 10 points coming off the bench, as oftentimes he's been the leading scorer for Latin Academy. We saw Mason Lawson filling up every category of the stat sheet, which isn't anything new either. So it's your top 2 guys in a big game like this are doing what they need to do.
Oh, definitely. And with Aiden, you really have to give him a lot of credit for accepting that role of coming off the bench. You're the team's leading scorer, obviously. If you had, too much of an ego, you'd say, well, why can't I start? 10 more minutes, whatever. In reality, he plays similar minutes as a starter. It just happens in the scheme of how they run their offense. Aiden comes off the bench, and he's like we see tonight. He's instant offense.
So we're just about set to go here to start the third quarter. The Boys North Division II quarterfinals. Dragons going to start off the third quarter with the basketball. 16-point lead for Latin Academy. We'll see how Gloucester responds after a turnover-filled first half.
They're going to start out in a, looks like a straight man as they're trying to keep Latin Academy out of the lane.
Santos no good on the 3.
Montanino being guarded by Lawson.
Shot no good that time from Oliver. Here comes Mason Lawson. Ali open look at a three. That time he was short with it. Nemo Stuppard with the offensive rebound. Lawson back to Santos for three. He gets it to go.
Again, ball movement in the half court will always get you some open shots.
That time Oliver well short of the three. Montanino off the feed from Del Torchio. He's going to get a couple of free throws. You mentioned Del Torchio's interior passing so far. You see it again right there.
He's a freshman, and he's one of the guys I was talking about earlier who a little reluctant to try to put a shot up, but he has some size with those long arms of his. He's able to get some rebounds, but the guards definitely are the only chance for Gloucester to turn this around. You talked about Oliver shooting some threes and the other sophomore guys shooting some threes. They've got to come through with some big shots.
Montanino knocks down that second free throw. Stuppard on the drive, short with the layup. Well, Guerin couldn't get it to go. Ali there for the putback.
Too many long arms in there that time for Gloucester.
Good job breaking the press again by the Fishermen. Another drive inside that time from Montanino.
One of the few times he's gotten a clean pass into the post. Make a nice quick move.
Santos all the way to the rim.
That's more of the same from the first half, Pat. Just driving strong, right? Defense for Gloucester just not cutting off the ball.
Santos now with 7 points for Latin Academy. Santos with the steal. Santos all the way to the bucket, can't get it to go. Stuppard going after the rebound, and Del Torchio is going to get whistled for the foul.
Yeah, for some reason, the Gloucester team is not adjusted to the fact that one or two defenders are going to come after attack the ball if you don't make a quicker pass. Well, Aiden's in. Actually, a little early for him. Not surprisingly, this is the chance for Latin Academy to really put a stranglehold on this game if they can get a couple of three-point shots from Aiden.
Benny Martinez also back in for the Dragons. Aiden, corner three, right on cue.
Right.
23-point lead for Latin Academy. Patton looking inside for Del Torchio, and he gets fouled. Hard that time from Abdullahi Aiden.
And again, there are two defenders. Del Torchio tried to put up that layup.
Del Torchio knocks down the first. His first free throw trip so far in this game. Two for two from the line is Del Torchio for his first 2 points of the contest. Back to a 21-point lead now for Latin Academy. Good swing for the Dragons. Martinez inside to Wogarin. And that foul is going to be on Oliver.
You see it. He was able to keep the dribble as it went down to one knee. Nice pass to Wogarin.
So Sasu Wogarin now at the free throw line for the Dragons. He knocks down the first. Sasu 2 for 2 from the charity stripe. That's the first time Latin Academy's made free throws in this game. It's probably the only thing they've done wrong
in the first half. Right.
Almost another turnover. It is a turnover as Ali gets the steal up to Lawson. Mason gets blocked inside by Montanino. They save it to Martinez. He can't hit the jumper. Montanino with the rebound, tries to get it out to Del Torchio. who scores the layup on the other end.
Yeah, nice finish by the big fella. Looked like he was going to be a little off balance.
Aiden. Short on that three. Put back from Ali, and he's going to get 2 from the charity stripe.
You see Aiden with the 3. But again, you're getting offensive rebounds and second and third chances.
And Muhammad Ali now with 3 offensive rebounds for the Dragons.
That's what Michelle talked about with the Gloucester coach. The offensive rebounds in that first half were really killing the fishermen.
Coming back in for the Fishermen, Sam Shalino. Ali knocks down the second. Santos coming back in for the Dragons. Muhammad Ali heads to the bench.
More fresh legs. They're going to stay. It's like a 1-3-1 full court zone press.
Back to a 22-point lead for Latin Academy. And we got a foul inside on the Dragons. It's going to be on Benny Martinez.
MIAA foul number 4, Benny Martinez.
Montanino off the fake, all the way to the bucket. Count the
nice
hoop and the harm.
Nice finish. He went through
Montanino.
3 different defenders on that one play. Watch the drive, good control. Yeah, Bulgarian just jumped a little late.
Here's another look at it. Montanino now with 15 points to lead Gloucester. This is the free throw. Aiden comes away with the rebound for Latin Academy. Cross-court pass over to Martinez. Benny on the drive, scores inside.
Nice finish by Martinez. It looked like he didn't have anything there, but he found just enough room on the baseline.
Martinez's first basket of the game. Corner 3 from Patton is buried.
Just in the game. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's Jacob Talaro with the corner 3 for Gloucester. One of their shooters off the bench. So Mortellaro with his first bucket. Cuts the lead back down to 19. Lawson kicks it to Martinez. Benny can't hit the 3. Rebound on the inside, that time from Byron Thomas. Stolen away by Abdullahi Aiden. All the way to the rim, and we got a foul on the floor on Gloucester. You see Byron Thomas whistle for the reach-in.
Yeah, they're a really small team out there for Gloucester right now, so they're calling a timeout to make sure all the guys know exactly what their assignments are.
19-point lead here for Latin Academy. 3:06 left to go in the third quarter. And as you mentioned earlier, Alan, just much of the same for the Dragons. They're getting to the basket. They've gotten some open looks for 3. They've had waves of players come in and out, provide a lot of energy and a lot of defense.
Well, that system's worked for them the entire season. They've been able to trust each other, and Danny Bunker has he's able to use different combinations of players. He always has someone who can handle the ball. If Lawson's not in there, Aiden can handle the ball. If the big fellow Bulgarian's not in there, you can bring the freshman in for a couple of minutes. You can have other players who are not all that big, but they know how to box out. They know how to double team, trap, to get deflections. So a lot of different things you can do defensively, even though you may not have a lot of size. But tonight, the size they do have is really making a difference with all their offensive rebounds.
Just saw a nice shot of Jordan Bellot, one of the girls basketball players for Latin Academy. They unfortunately lost their opening round game here on Monday night as Aiden can't connect on that three.
During the timeout, Del Torchio came back in along with Martinino.
Del Torchio blocked inside by Nemo Stuppert. And we got another foul right around half court. That's Byron Thomas again with the foul. So he's had 2 quick fouls here for Gloucester.
See, with this big deficit, you get Gloucester forced to go man-to-man, and the quickness of the guards for Latin Academy just continues to create a lot of problems.
Well, Guerin unable to finish inside off the feed from Aiden. Here comes Montanino, met by a wall of Latin Academy defenders.
That's what they've been doing all day. They want to create a lot of bodies, get a lot of bodies into the lane whenever Montanino tries to drive to the basket.
Mason Lawson with that foul. Just the 4th team foul on Latin Academy. Stuppert almost loses it out of bounds. Nemo going baseline. Good swing. Aiden open 3, buries it.
You really can't say he has his favorite spots because he literally shoots threes
from the entire floor. 16 points now for Abdullahi Aiden. Montanino trapped. And gets it over to the corner. Good drive and finish that time. Once again from Mortellaro. Santos on the other end gets swatted by Del Torchio. Saves it to Montanino. Thomas. Mid-range jumper no good. Rebound gets knocked out of bounds. It's going to go back to Latin Academy. Sasu Wogarin going to head to the bench as Ali comes back in. Benny Martinez back in. Nemo Stuppert to the bench.
Secondary.
Trying to correct one of the clocks.
Trying to fix the game clock there. It's now at the correct time. 1:35 left to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Danny Bunker doesn't want any kind of delays or timeouts to give Gloucester any chance to catch their breath. He wants to keep this pace going.
Let's go.
20-point lead here for the Dragons. Minute 30 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Aiden looking for an opening. Tries a runner. Tough rebound inside by Del Torchio, and he was fouled by Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. Looks like.
Oh, you're right. It is Martinez.
On the jumped with him, but Del Torchio is a little bigger.
Got to think if Gloucester wants to try to mount a comeback at all, they've got to get a little bit of a run here at the end of the 3rd quarter.
No doubt about that. Yeah.
Good swing there for the Fishermen. Back to Montanino on the drive, hits the runner.
One of the few times you didn't have the second defender come over.
Under a minute left to go here in the 3rd quarter. 18-point lead for Latin Academy here in the Boys North Division II quarterfinals. Mason, Lawson to the corner. Santos, 3 around the rim and out. Ali can't get the putback. Montanino with the rebound, quickly up to Oliver. Oliver fouled, scored the hoop in the harm for Zach Oliver.
Nice pass by Montanino. He really gave right to his teammate. Good head and shoulders fake. Aiden caught in no man's land, looking for the block shot.
Benny Martinez heads to the bench.
Well, this is the type of action you just talked about in terms of trying to start a comeback for Gloucester. Put a few hoops together.
Oliver completes the three-point play, so lead that was 20, now down to 15 here with about 35 seconds left to go in the quarter.
It's all about stops for Gloucester, and that's one thing they've really had a tough time with.
Lawson on the drive, couldn't finish inside. Oliver with the rebound. Lawson to Santos, who couldn't finish the layup.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the guards for Gloucester, these unforced turnovers. Okay, look at this here. This is just being a little too casual. You got Lawson, who has those quick hands, gets the steal and gives his teammate a chance for a couple of free throws.
First free throw missed that time from Santos. AC Mason Lawson with the rebound. Coach Bunker saying, Mason, just go up with the shot right there.
Yeah, he wanted Mason to shoot after he get the steal.
Santos knocks down the free throw that time. Latin Academy just 4 for 10 from the free throw line. 52-36, Latin Academy on top. Nice drive that time from Oliver, who scores off the window. Cuts it down to a 14-point lead.
And that's the end of the third quarter.
So at the end of the third,
some signs of life from Gloucester.
No question, they got the run they needed, down by 16 here at the end of the quarter. Zach Oliver doing a nice job here at the end of the third. We'll be right back with the fourth quarter here on Game of the Week. Welcome back to Latin Academy High School in Dorchester as the Dragons currently lead the Gloucester Fishermen 52-36. For a minute there in the third quarter, it seemed like Latin Academy
on the verge,
going on the verge of sort of blowing the doors off this game. Meanwhile, Gloucester makes a nice run at the end of the quarter to get back into it.
Well, that's the key. And actually, you called it. With about minutes ago, you said if they don't start making a run this last part of the third quarter, it could be over. So they responded well. Couple of good defensive plays. They were strong with the ball. They had a three-point shot. They had a three-point play from Oliver.
Runner from Del Torchio missed that one. Here comes Aiden back down the other end. Quickly up to Stuppard. Nemo finishes.
Good catch and shot by Nemo Stuppard.
Santos underneath off the feed from Aiden. 4 quick points to start the quarter for Latin Academy. Corner three from Gloucester, well off the mark. That goes out of bounds off of Oliver. Back to the Dragons.
Croatia!
One player for Gloucester we haven't heard from a lot so far is Byron Thomas. As we mentioned, he had 21 points in that first round win over Wakefield. Did have 4 assists in the third quarter. Lawson buries a 3 for Latin Academy.
The Latin Academy Dragons are just totally comfortable both ends of the floor.
Back to a 21-point bulge for the Dragons. Montanino stuffed inside by Wogarin. Quickly up to Stuppard. Nemo can't get the hoop, but he'll go back to the free throw line.
Yeah, Wogarin started this whole thing with the. That time he timed it right. A couple times earlier in the game, he was going up a little too quickly. Watch Stuppard trying to finish this. He'll take the foul. May
I see Nemo again going to the basket. Stuppard misses the first free throw.
Right, Pat. The only thing they've done wrong is just can't make the free throws.
Yeah, under 50%. in this one. They actually hit their free throws very well in that first round matchup against North Andover. Stuppert hits the second. We always thought, when you talk about the state tournament too, we mentioned Nemo Stuppert. He's the only senior on this Latin Academy team. And state tournament time is not just one and done for the season, but for the seniors, it's one and done for your high school career.
You depend on him, you're right. You do depend on him, there's no doubt about that.
Aiden comes up with the rebound for Latin Academy. Stuppert's going to head back to the free throw line as it's a one-on-one situation for Latin Academy with Gloucester now in the bonus. We're talking about the Dragons spreading the ball around. Right now they have 6 players with at least 7 points.
And that's one of the other advantages of always having fresh legs in there. They're going hard to the basket. They're playing that swarming defense.
Stuppert knocks down the first. Stuppert 2 for 2 from the free throw line for Latin Academy. 24-point lead for the Dragons.
See a double teaming on the ball.
Montanino throws it away.
Yeah.
Dragons currently on a 10-0 run to start the fourth quarter. Santos all the way to the bucket. Couldn't get it to go. Oliver with the rebound. Oliver gets swatted inside by Wogarin. Stolen away by Montanino, who scores inside. Santos driving to the bucket. Count the hoop in the harm from Tiano Santos.
Again, the offense, those drives from the wing by the guards of Latin Academy.
Santos now with 12 points in this contest.
Eduardo Rivera in the game for the first time for Gloucester.
Santos completes the three-point play. Muhammad Ali coming back in for Latin Academy. Wogarin going to head to the bench for the Dragons. Wogarin picked it up defensively here to start the quarter. Had a couple of blocks to get things going. Montanino off the feed from Del Torchio.
Again, one of the few times they've had a successful press breaker to get an open shot.
Nemo Stuppert knocking down the corner three. So many different guys that can come at you here for Latin Academy. Montanino with another tough finish.
Yeah, used his length that time to get away from the shot block.
Montanino now with 21 for the Gloucester Fishermen. Lawson, Aiden corner three. Abdullahi with another trifecta for Latin Academy. Lawson now with 11 assists for Latin Academy. 27-point lead for the Dragons. Stuppert going to head back to the bench. Benny Martinez now back in for Latin Academy. Oliver on the drive, scores inside for Gloucester. Santos again, this time with a tougher runner. The rebound comes down to Sam Shalino. Oliver off the up fake. And he's going to get 2 more from the charity stripe.
I'd say the Gloucester coaches got to really be wondering, why couldn't we stop playing like this in the beginning of the second half? Because the Latin Academy defense is not let up at all. They're still doubling the ball. They're still running the press, the backcourt press, but you're seeing Gloucester just put together some better offense, but and this one's far too late with this huge deficit.
Second free throw missed that time from Oliver. Here comes Aiden. Quickly up to Benny Martinez for the layup. Yeah, Gloucester's pace seems to have been picked up here offensively in the second half. But like you mentioned, Alan, you're wondering why they didn't have a little more urgency to start.
Well, that's the problem.
But then with Latin Academy, is one of those teams certainly likes to get up and down the floor. You wonder if Gloucester was trying to kind of combat that with a slower pace to begin things.
Yeah, they were earlier, but the problem was that once they couldn't break the press, that throws everything out. I mean, they had Latin Academy had a 15-0 run.
Aiden scores 2 inside for Latin Academy. Abdullahi Aiden now with 21 points for Latin Academy. Substitution for Gloucester.
This is Montanino's little brother, freshman.
I think you're right. Nate Montanino now in for the Fishermen as Marcus misses the deep three. We're going to foul inside that time on Latin Academy. Sasu Wargarin going to come back in for Latin Academy. So you talk about Nate Montanino coming in and also having Marcus in there. Certainly nice to have two brothers out on the floor, especially when this is going to be Marcus's last game.
Exactly, the big kid, that's his last game, so you see his little brother out there, the state tournament. It's a nice gesture by the coaching staff of Gloucester.
Gloucester getting a couple of more subs in there now as Adam Borowick is in. He's also a freshman for the Fishermen. As it's Mortellaro now knocking down the first free throw. Brett Gapo also in for Gloucester. He's a junior.
Well, after this for Latin Academy, they'll hit the road. Even the high seeds, most you can get is 2 home games. So
Montanino was denied inside that time by Benny Martinez. Here comes Santos. Up to Wargarin for the alley-oop that doesn't fall for him. Montanino on the drive, scores inside, count the hoop in the heart. Like you mentioned before, Alan, you can see why Marcus has been the player that he's been, getting all the awards and, and how people talk about him, just the way he works for baskets.
He works, and it's just, he's got to be frustrated for whatever reason. His teammates just couldn't get the ball to him almost the entire first half. Watch this nice baseline drive. He's being double teamed, but he takes advantage of his height to be able to bank it home. It's just they didn't have enough of that when Latin Academy was taking control of the game.
Daniel Brown now in for Gloucester. Two minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. 25-point lead for Latin Academy. Aiden, deep three. Now Latin Academy getting ready to empty their bench. And coming in for the Dragons is Abdullahi Aiden's younger brother. At one point during the city championship, they actually brought up Abdullahi's younger brother and also his oldest brother.
That's right, played at New Mission, right?
Abubakar Aiden was on the floor for New Mission in the city playoffs, not the city championship. He had all three Aiden brothers
the family took over the court, right?
in that game. at one point. I don't think they all got on the floor at the same time. Aiden for three, short of that one. Just like his brother comes off the bench and launches a three.
Fire it up, yeah. Eyes on the rim.
Drive inside that time from Gloucester. Well, you mentioned, Alan, after this, Latin Academy's going to hit the road. It's going to be the sectional semifinals for them after this win, and they will play the winner of Belmont and Billerica. Now, Belmont, the 3 seed, had their way with Reading in the first round, 30-point win for them. Billerica with a convincing 19-point win over Somerville. Belmont was actually in the state semifinals last year and ended up losing to Tech Boston at the Garden, so they're no stranger to state tournament play, a lot of state tournament play.
Yeah, Belmont's been a strong program for a few years now. So, like I said, it gets a little more difficult as we move out of the friendly confines of Latin Academy.
That game will be a neutral site once you get to this, the sectional semifinals.
Yeah, they'll look at the matchups, and like you said, they'll try to make it as neutral as possible to not give either team an advantage in terms of familiarity with the court.
So with high schools, you also got to worry about travel. Try to make travel as easy as possible for these teams. Scoring the layup for Gloucester that time was Daniel Brown, the junior guard. Under a minute to go here in the fourth quarter. Very convincing win again for Latin Academy in the quarterfinals of the North Division II bracket.
Talking about the next possible opponents, it's sort of tough to scout Latin Academy. You know about Lawson, you know about Wagerin in the middle, but now Stumpett has really stepped up so much in the last few games that as a senior, he's really someone to pay attention to. And of course, you get the quick guards who create a lot of turnovers.
And we've talked a lot about, as you see the runner there made by Orlando Jacino, the freshman guard. One thing about Latin Academy is they can play in so many different ways.
Well, that's their strength. No doubt about that.
They have some size where they can go big. They have, Muhammad Ali, very versatile player who they can play at center or even small forward if they need to.
And a guy like that, like you said, who's so versatile, will be a key as you try to move on.
Latin Academy takes down Gloucester here in the North Division II quarterfinal, 77-57. Very impressive and convincing win here for the Dragons. And, we saw them a lot throughout the season. We saw them in the regular season with a crazy win over Tech Boston in overtime. We saw them lose in the city championship. I think that game really helped them. It sounds weird that you lose a championship game.
I think you're right. But the fact that it was right on the eve of the state tournament, and it's only a couple of days after that game, that they bounced right back into action in the first round. Like you said, they played so well, Monday of this week was 4 days ago. Now they have this one under their belt, so now their mindset has got to be really sky high, even though they have to hit the road to a neutral court.
No question. 2 wins under their belt, 2 very impressive wins for the Latin Academy Dragons, so they will be flying high next week as they head into the sectional semifinals of the North Division II bracket. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have our Game of the Week, MVP, our game-winning coach, and our final stats here from Latin Academy High School right after this.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you. your favorite brother, your other brother. You, your football buddy, your football buddy. You, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Each year, there are more than a dozen significant tropical and winter storms that threaten the East Coast. So chances are there will be more hurricanes and blizzards near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
All right, Monroe, you ready? Monroe. Here we go, the butterfly. Ready? Ooh.
I am what hunger looks like in America. I am an 8-year-old girl who's not excited for the last day of school. Because this may be the last time I'll have lunch.
Till September.
I am a single father of 2 who works 3 part-time jobs, and that's still not enough to put food on the table. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger.
Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Imagine being fired because of who you love. Imagine being denied medical treatment because of who you marry. Imagine being evicted because of who you are. Millions of Americans don't have to imagine this. They have to live it. Because in 30 states, it's legal to discriminate against LGBT people.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a 4th ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to Latin Academy High School. At the conclusion of Game of the Week, the Latin Academy Dragons defeat the Gloucester Fishermen here in the Boys North Division II quarterfinals. The Dragons will be moving on here in the 2020 MIAA State Tournament. A lot of good players, a lot of good performances tonight here for Latin Academy, but it seemed like when Abdullahi Aiden came off the bench, that's when things really turned for the Dragons.
Well, it turned. They had a 31-9 run, and him coming off the bench with 10 points in like 3 minutes was a big part of that big run. So you're absolutely right. He gets that offense jump-started, and they ran off from there.
No question. Abdullahi Aiden is our player of the game tonight. He is with our game-winning coach, Dan Bunker, and our sideline reporter, Michelle Fenelon. Michelle, take it away.
I'm here with the MVP of this game, Latin Academy junior guard Abdullahi Aiden, and head coach Dan Bunker. Abdullahi, Off camera, when I told you you had 21 points off the bench, you told me, I'm used to this. How are you able to consistently dominate off the bench?
My coaches just expect me to come off the bench and score. So that's what I'm usually here for. So I just come off the bench and do what I'm expected to do. So, yeah.
What's the mindset when you come off the bench?
I'm just in attack mode. So, like, when I get the ball, I just keep going. And my teammates help me, set me up. Mason, Tiano, they help get me open. And I just do what I have to do.
Thank you. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Coach, you called an early timeout in that first quarter, and you said that's it. That's their run for the rest of the game. Gloucester didn't have a lead after that. What changed for your team?
We just started move. I thought we were a little antsy to come out, and we weren't. Our defensive rotation wasn't as good as it needed to be. We left their shooters feel comfortable in the perimeter, and they made a couple three-pointers right away. And then we got with it in the rotation and rotated and closed out well on their shooters.
Defensively, Mason had Marcus Montanino. How would you grade his performance against him?
He made it. I think he made his life miserable. Mason's a great, tough, fierce defender. He's a strong kid. We wanted to make them uncomfortable here, especially that kid. He's a good player.
You told me your team is at its best when it plays a complete game. How complete was this performance?
It was, I think we can actually we need to be better going forward in the state tournament. We need to clean up, we couldn't pull away quite. Like in the third quarter, I thought we had an opportunity to pull away, and we didn't. We kept them in the game by giving them second chances and giving them open shots. We got to clean that up. We were a little bit too unselfish at times, actually, where I thought Mason could have had a layup, and he dished it off, and 24 got a block or a rebound.
Thanks, Coach. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Pat.
Thanks very much, Michelle and Coach Bunker. Certainly very satisfied for the win tonight, but he knows, moving on in the state tournament, you got to clean things up.
It gets much tougher. Teams get either bigger or faster or better shooters, better defenders. That's how the rounds go so quickly. One and done, and you get to the really good teams really fast.
No question.
And it could start as early as next week for Latin Academy as they'll go to a neutral court.
No question. That should be interesting for Latin Academy and some of the other city teams as the state tournament progresses. Let's take a look at the final stats from this game before we sign off here from Latin Academy. First up, it's Gloucester.
Yeah, Gloucester. Montanino, the big kid. We knew he was their best player, best scorer. 24 points for him. Oliver from the backcourt added 12. Montanino also had 13 rebounds. Del Torcio, the freshman, didn't want to shoot much, but he did have 5 rebounds. In the backcourt, the assist did a little bit in the first half. Thomas had 5, and Montanino ended up with 4.
Let's take a look at Latin Academy's final stats.
Yeah, Latin Academy, Aiden, whenever he comes off the bench, he gets double figures. Into the 20s, they're going to be in good shape. 21 tonight. Santos 13, mainly because of all his hustle. Rebounds 7 for both Stuppert and for Lawson. And Lawson, big 11 assists as he was able to run the offense, especially in the half court, to help them pull away. Santos also added 6 assists.
Yeah, Nemo Stuppert 7 rebounds. I thought he had a really nice game tonight. Not huge stats, but really played well for Latin Academy. The senior, making sure this wasn't going to be his last game in the Latin Academy uniform. Folks, you want to follow us on social media, or if you want to watch this game again, you can certainly go to our website. Go to www.cityofboston.gov/game-of-the-week. All the games for this season will be up on that site. You can also follow us on social media. You can go to our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/game-of-the-week-Boston. A lot of good links and different videos and graphics and stuff to check out up on that Facebook site. Make sure you like us there. You can also follow us on Twitter @BostonCityTV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. We don't know which game we'll be covering next in the state tournament, but we do have several teams still alive here in the city of Boston. We'll figure it out here in the Bay State, here in Massachusetts. Just a fun time of year, crazy, hectic, but a blast for our crew and for everybody involved. So make sure you take a look at our social media sites, and we'll see you next time on Game of the Week. Have a good night, everybody.